everybody. Today, the movie I'm going to review about, I'm sure you all have seen it before. It's a film that's never been completed. Had it have been completed, I think it would have been one of the best kung fu movies ever made. The Game of Death. So, this was meant to be a movie that was meant to show the whole world the essence of Jeet Kune Do. Jeet Kune Do is the style that Bruce Lee found, meaning the way of the intercepting fist. So, Bruce Lee was filming this before he had a call from Hollywood to invite him to make Enter the Dragon. So that's why production was put on hold for Game of Death. But during production, Bruce Lee was able to film 3 fight scenes inside the pagoda. This film could have been so amazing because you had martial artists guarding each floor and they all had a different style. So you had to be adaptable and flexible in order to beat these enemies. So the first floor was guarded by a master of a kicking style, which was Huang Yin-sek, and the second floor was meant to be guarded by a praying mantis master, played by Taki Kimura. Third floor was a nunchaku and eskrima stick master, guarded by Dan Inosanto, who was Bruce Lee's great friend. Fourth floor, a hapkido master, specializing in joint locking. That would have been a fresh element to all audiences because mostly people see a lot of fist fighting in kung fu movies. And on the final floor, it was guarded by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who uses an unknown style to fight against Bruce Lee's no style. So it was the master of no style versus the master of the unknown. This could have been a great movie, but it was never completed. This film was meant to showcase what Jeet Kune Do was all about. How you're supposed to be flexible and adaptable as a fighter. So they go up to the pagoda and each floor is guarded by a martial artist of a different style. So as they defeat one enemy on one floor, the next one becomes more challenging. It's a shame this movie never got completed, because not only would it have been the greatest martial arts film ever made, possibly, but what could be better than having the founder of Jeet Kune Do performing on screen himself to show us what the art was all about. So, although we cannot say this is probably one of the greatest movies because it was never completed, Bruce Lee passed away beforehand, but what we probably could say is that it's probably the greatest incomplete movie ever. And the lost footage that was found, where Bruce Lee fights his way up to the pagoda with some of his accomplices, those scenes itself are worth watching. So everybody probably knows the trademark of the movie, and it's the yellow costume that Bruce Lee wears. I know a lot of people recognize the yellow tracksuit because they either seen Kill Bill, but the costume actually comes from Game of Death. So for the new generation, it comes from Kill Bill, but for the older generation, it comes from Game of Death. And although it's not a completed movie, but it's worth watching for the fight scenes. So you should try to look for the lost footage. Do I recommend it? Yes, the lost footage of the fight scene. So try to watch that instead. You can watch the full film of the Game of Death, but it's very, very cheesy because they try to cover up the character's face because it wasn't Bruce Lee when they tried to finish off the film, and the plot's quite messy. But if you're going to watch the actual movie of Game of Death that they completed, I would say the the locker room, the fight scene in there's worth watching, and the tournament fight between Bob War and Sammo Hung. So, because Sammo Hung gets a small part in as a tournament fighter. So, other than that, I don't think it's worth watching Game of Death. But that's when you fast forward it to the fight at the end, where Bruce Lee takes on his enemies. People remember this movie because of the yellow tracksuit. You could buy that tracksuit online on the Bruce Lee website if you wanted. Yeah, this was Bruce Lee's final movie before he passed away. Although it wasn't completed, but who knows what would have happened? Would it have been his greatest movie, or would he have come up with another even greater movie? We would never know. But however, it's still worth watching due to the trademark tracksuit itself. Because Bruce Lee doesn't wear a traditional kung fu costume like in his other movies. Why does he wear this yellow tracksuit? Because it represents flexibility. It's comfy, so it shows you don't have to be in a kung fu costume to be able to fight. You should be able to wear anything you want as long as it's flexible, adaptable. So that was what the movie was about, to represent the highest quality of Jeet Kune Do. Yeah. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I would see you again next time. See you soon.